privileged to introduce our third and final case study from Michelle Borreson from Goodison Health in the States. She's going to share a little bit about the work she's been doing with, I believe, Rod Heller, who's also on the call. I shall ask you, Michelle, if you're still here. There you are. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to pop that in the chat.
So I have two old buildings that this building was built in the 1950s, and my other building was built in the 1940s. So we retrofitted in our buildings, and so I think it's good that I'm following up Joe to just kind of show you how we did that in our buildings. So my first building is Tweeten Lutheran Healthcare Center. It's a rural 50-bed skilled nursing facility, and it has 2 units. It has a 38-bed unit and a 12-bed dementia unit, and we're in Spring Grove, Minnesota. Our installation date for the lighting that we did here was in April of 2017. And this is my other building, Gunderson Harmony Care Center. Again, rural building, 43-bed skilled nursing facility. Both of these buildings were like the hospitals in our towns, if you will, the small hospitals, and then those closed, and we continued on with a skilled nursing facility. So it's the corridors, such as Joe was speaking to, and we just worked with what we had and retrofitted. So this is just our previous lighting system. The lighting was that traditional fluorescent, was a variety of colors, ranging from that 3500 to 4100K. As you can kind of see, even the different colors in this picture. And we moved to that LED lighting, and we tried to support that circadian rhythm. And you can kind of see as we have throughout the day different times where the lighting will adjust. So it kind of gets brighter as the day goes on, and then brings in that orange light as the day progresses, to support that circadian rhythm. So this kind of just shows you you see a little bit more blue light in that daytime spectrum, and then as we get into evenings, we were bringing in a little bit more of that orange light. So you can kind of see how we had that set up. This is just some before and after pictures of, we did put in a lower ceiling, and we put in some new lights. How I helped fund it is I had written a grant to help fund this, and so that helped support the cost of that. We're able to get the lights retrofitted that way. So our lighting and controls, they were off the shelf, nothing custom. And I think at the beginning too, in my first building, so at Tweeten, when we installed in 2017, we did have some challenges at first, as staff did want to turn on the lights. Like in the mornings, like when it was still dark outside and they were trying to do their charting, or at night. But we answered by putting lamps at the nurse's desk and at the med carts, and that was effective. And then at this time, we've been in this now since 17. So by 6 years later, my staff don't really touch the controls at all. And then when we installed in 2020 in Harmony, we already knew that we were going to have to maybe have, lamps at the nurse's desk and at the med carts. And so they didn't want to even go to the controls. So they leave the controls alone, and they just let it run on the control system, and it works very, very well. So these were the initial results at Tweeten. After installing in 2017, we did see about a 32% reduction in falls. We went from 9.12 falls per resident day to 6.17. We also saw a reduction in anti-anxiety use from 1.99 to 1.84 per 1,000 resident days. And then we saw some reduction in our antipsychotic use as well, from on our dementia unit from 1 to 0.92 per 1,000 resident days. So, and some initial results in our Harmony building, we saw a reduction in anti-anxiety use from 3.28 to 3.13 per 1,000 resident days. As far as antidepressant use, we went down from 5.47 to 5.3 per 1,000 resident days. And then our antipsychotic use dropped as well from 1.66 to 1.18 per 1,000 resident days. And, you know, in Harmony, we finished our installation right before COVID. And then, you know, this is throughout COVID as well, when we had to go into lockdown and our residents couldn't see our families there for a time as well, in person. Of course, we saw nice results in our decrease in our electricity cost. So at Tweeton, we saw a $3,000 savings per year, and in Harmony, $4,000 savings per year in our electricity costs. And our residents are definitely sleeping better for sure. We're seeing less hypnotic use, and our residents are getting better sleep. So that was a good thing to see as well. We really feel that the color settings made the difference. We didn't really change the luminance, but based on our IRB approved study, it was definitely the color settings, I would say. And that is my presentation. So, any questions?
Thank you, Michelle. That was just fascinating. Can I just, you went through those last few really fast. Do you want to just go back to that what made a difference point? Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
Thank you. So you mentioned that it was the color settings, it was the amount of blue in the light source. That's my understanding, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Great, good, thanks very much.